In this video we are going to learn to talk about physical appearance. This will include talking about height and other physical features and describing hair and eyes. Towards the end of the video we'll also learn how to qualify these descriptions by using the words very, quite and a bit, and how to use a new negative expression to say that you are neither something nor something else. Before learning any of the new vocabulary, it's important to recap two vital verbs for this topic, which are the verbs to have, tener on the left hand side here, and to be, ser on the right hand side. I'm assuming that you are familiar and happy now with the 6 forms of the verb to have and to be. The singular, I have, you have, he, she has, and the plural, we have, you have, they have. And similarly with the verb to be, the singular, I am, you are, he, she, it is, and the plural, we are, you, plural, are, they are. So here's our first new vocabulary. I am starting off using the verb to be in the first person singular here, soy, I am. And here are some adjectives to describe a physical appearance. So I am tall, soy alto. As we remember from previous videos, if an adjective ends in o, it will change in the feminine. So a girl talking would say soy alta. The opposite of alto, tall, is bajo, short. Soy bajo, I am short. Again, if it was a girl, she would say soy baja. Fat and thin are also adjectives ending in an o. So we get I am fat, soy gordo or soy gorda. I'm thin, soy delgado or delgada. At the bottom we have two variations on this. I am skinny, soy flaco, which is another adjective with o or a. Soy flaco, soy flaca if you're a girl. But the adjective chubby, regordete, ends in an e, and as we remember from previous videos, adjectives ending in an e do not change their form. So a girl would say soy regordete just as a boy would. To talk about somebody else in the third person, he, she, is, all we need to do is simply change the person of the verb to be from soy to es, and we do the same thing with our adjectives. Es alto, he is tall. Es baja, she is short. Es gordo, he is fat. Es delgado, he is thin. She is chubby would be es regordete. She is thin, skinny rather, es flaca. As we know from our understanding of agreements of adjectives, adjectives ending in o have 4 separate forms. So if we want to move into the plural and say we are tall would be somos altos. If it were a group of boys, or boys and girls together, all girls would give us somos altas, we are tall. And the same thing would happen with we are short, somos bajos or somos bajas. We are fat, somos gordos o gordas. Somos delgados, delgadas, so we are thin. Flacos o flacas, we are skinny. And somos regordetes, we are chubby. And of course, if you want to describe somebody else, you're going to change the verb to be to son in the plural to say they are. So to say my parents are tall, for example, you would say mis padres son altos. If you were talking about a group of girls, say my sisters, and you wanted to say they were not tall, they were short, you would say mis hermanas son bajas. So now we're going to look at describing hair. And of course we have moved from using the verb to be to using the verb to have. I have long hair, for example. Tengo el pelo largo. its opposite, I have short hair, tengo el pelo corto. Straight hair, tengo el pelo liso. Curly hair, tengo el pelo rizado. Dark hair, tengo el pelo moreno. Or blonde hair, tengo el pelo rubio. It's important to notice, of course, that when you are talking about hair colour, of course the adjective still agrees, but what you are talking about is the hair. So these adjectives, long, short, straight, curly, dark, blonde, are describing not the people, but the hair. And because the noun hair, el pelo, is a masculine singular noun, all the adjectives are going to be in the masculine singular form. It doesn't matter whether it is a boy or a girl who is describing their hair, they're still going to say el pelo, and therefore moreno or rubio, masculine singular. Similarly, when we move into the plural, and if you were, for example, wanting to say they have long hair, again, hair remains in the singular, and therefore the adjective describing it remains singular as well. They have long hair, therefore would be tienen el pelo largo. Even if you were talking about two girls here, my sisters have long hair, well, the Spanish would be mis hermanas, my sisters, tienen, they have el pelo largo, because the thing that's being described is the hair, not the sisters. It's not your sisters who are long, but their hair. When we come to describe eye colour, a similar point applies. The Spanish word for eyes is los ojos. So of course, all the adjectives that describe these will need to be in masculine plural forms. So we have the masculine plural forms of blue, azules, green, verdes, brown, marrones. Notice that there is no accent because it's in the plural form, and grey, grises. So the Spanish for I have blue eyes is tengo los ojos azules. This wouldn't change at all if you were describing somebody else. So if you wanted to say, for example, my mother has green eyes, the verb, of course, would change from tengo to tiene, she has. But we would say mi madre tiene los ojos verdes. Again, it's not a question of whether what gender she is, but the gender of the eyes themselves. Masculine plural in the noun, masculine plural in the adjective. This slide looks at some qualifiers. These are words that we can put before an adjective so that we are not necessarily speaking in very blunt terms, fat, thin, tall, short, but so we can say that somebody is very, quite, or a bit. Fat, thin, tall, short. So the words muy for very, bastante, quite, and the phrase un poco, a bit. On the right hand side then, the Spanish for he is very fat, es muy gordo. He is quite fat, es bastante gordo. And he is a bit fat, es un poco gordo. In this final slide, we're going to look at a new negative expression, the expression no es ni, which is the equivalent of neither nor. On the left hand side we have somebody who is tall, es alto. On the right hand side, es bajo, he is short. But somebody who is neither tall nor short, we would say no es ni alto ni bajo. It's important to remember that Spanish needs to have the negative at the beginning, as well as the two negatives for neither nor. If you wanted, for example, to put this into the first person and to talk about yourself, you would need to change the verb from es to soy. So the Spanish for I am neither tall nor short would be no soy ni alto ni bajo. If you were describing somebody else, again the verb would need to change, and if it were plural, the adjective ending might need to change as well. So if we were to say, my parents are neither tall nor short, we would say, mis padres no, the verb would change to son, they are, mis padres no son ni altos ni bajos.